Hi, I am Taylor.
And I'm Nicole, and this is Glitter and Cat Litter. In this episode, we dive into a whole lot of personal stuff, how we've been feeling lately, how much we've changed over the past 7 years, and a lot of stuff about our own business and how we maintain and lose and regain our creativity throughout the years. And yeah, it was a really good conversation. I'm really glad we talked about all of this.
And our minds. Don't forget we lose our minds.
If you'd like episodes early and exclusive content, please get a membership at Glitter and Cat Litter or right here on our YouTube channel. And we hope you enjoy. Glitter and Cat Litter.
Glitter and cat litter.
Hey, guess what?
What?
It's baseball season.
That's because I put that out there. It's the only reason you know.
It's the only reason I know, really.
Yeah, it's the only
Not
reason.
because I get
You didn't
500 notifications.
You did not even let me fix my microphone. You just full sent it, so now
Ew, stop it.
it's your fault.
It's not my fault.
Yeah, it is. I wasn't ready.
That probably sounded way worse for you because you always have yours so much higher than mine. Please do not change that right now. I see you scheming. Please, no. I have my audio so low compared to him.
I can't even show you. It's not even. It's like a millimeter different in the dot.
Are you one?
Level.
You're the green?
Yeah.
Okay, it doesn't look that different, but
It's hardly any different. It's not like I'm over here deaf and you're over here like. Don't you dare put that evil on me.
Don't put that evil on me either.
I'm not even saying anything about evil for you.
You might be right. Taylor and I went to the gym this morning, and instead of going directly into the gym and working out, we stood outside and talked in the sun for like an hour because it's probably like
It was 20 minutes.
60 degrees here at that time, and it was freezing.
It's still cold.
It was so cold.
I think it was like 62. It's definitely like 68. Yeah, 68.
Right now?
Uh-huh.
Wow.
She's not warm outside.
Mm-mm.
No. And then tomorrow is supposed to be 69 as the high. And then Friday is 63. Saturday,
What?
56.
What?
69% chance of rain. It's supposed to rain an inch
On Saturday?
Or inch and a half, and then an inch on Sunday. Yeah.
I hope we're not planning to have plans outside
Well,
for the Easters.
if they are outside, guaranteed they'll be brought on inside.
Fair.
Or it moves to someone else's house that can accommodate indoors versus
I'm
outdoors.
pretty sure he can accommodate indoors.
We'll find out.
Anywho, spring. It is now spring. It is no longer winter. And I felt a complete shift in myself once spring started.
For the audio listeners, I shivered in response.
Do you feel a shift in yourself when the seasons change?
I get more angry.
Just with every season, you just get angrier. Gosh, you're going to be miserable when you're 85. Ugh.
No, I don't know. I don't feel like we're in California. If you didn't already know that, we live in Southern California. So like,
A lot of people actually don't know that.
okay, well now you know. If you didn't already know, now you do. Southern California, if you don't know what the weather's like here, it is not always sunny, but it is mostly sunny.
Yeah.
And while a lot of places say it's not cold, I mostly agree. I am someone who is always cold, but
It's pretty cold.
Yeah, our weather does not accommodate the seasons that well. So like, I can't even imagine you living somewhere where there's actual seasons. You would probably be a disaster.
I would be so depressed.
Probably. Because here you can just kind of ignore it, and then you're like spring, and there's like a new like air a little bit of like with the plants outside or trees outside and stuff. But like, I don't know. I don't really feel like it's spring, we got to clean and change everything. It's like, no, it's more like it's a day of the week, we got to change everything.
Well, okay, we were talking about this recently because obviously, like, men and women are very different, and
What? No.
yeah, just to let you know, and like our cycles are monthly. Yours, I hear, are like daily. So
I don't.
that actually makes sense.
I mean, maybe whoever came up with that, I feel like, I don't know.
I haven't researched this. I think I read like one thing.
I don't know that I agree with that.
But obviously, my cycles are monthly, like my hormones and everything,
Sure.
because yeah, I'm a woman. But you don't have that. So I feel like it's easier for you to go day to day and just like you have a reset of emotions every day.
I think it doesn't matter. I think that anything to do with your mindset literally is the first half of that word.
Yeah.
It's all your outlook. Like, yes, there are emotions. Yes, there are hormones. Yes, there's stuff that influences it. But, there's more often than not, you can push past the BS and kind of be okay.
I'm not saying you can't. You absolutely can.
And I know that, like, there's circumstances where, like, there's exaggerated circumstances of everything. But it's like, I don't feel like I reset every day.
No.
It does not. I don't wake up and I'm like, sweet, let's start over. No, it's like,
I kind of do.
okay, see, there you go.
Yeah.
So I'm over here like, yo, I'm still like sore from yesterday, or like I'm tired.
I think
was
I
really
do much
tired.
more than you do.
Right. I was super tired yesterday, still pretty tired today. Let's see how it goes. Or like, was in a bad mood yesterday, kind of in a whatever mood today. Great. I don't feel like.
I think that's just my ability and habit, which is not necessarily a good habit, of just ignoring things.
Which is exactly mindset.
Yeah.
So like wherever your mindset is, I think has way more to do with that than it is like where our hormones go. Because I know that, like, on the same note but different note, there's like a 7-year, isn't it 7-year regeneration of your cells? So like sometimes your taste buds change. I've heard. Well, that's different because we've changed our we've fully.
Yeah, I don't know anything about that though.
I remember reading that, and this is in like high school. It's a long time ago, but I remember it being like every 7 years. Sometimes you're more willing to eat new things, or you like different things because of the 7-year cycle of your cells replacing. I don't know anything more about that. Clearly, I'm not a scientist.
You are?
No, I'm wearing a Star Wars shirt and a Ducks hat. I feel like I'd be making better decisions with my life if I was a scientist.
I'm wearing butterfly clips.
Well, I don't know.
Now the scientists
my
can't
Google
do that.
cup might make you think
There
that
you
I'm a
go.
scientist.
I have a heated cup, so that's pretty scientific.
It is kind of like a blasphemic thing for me to have a Google cup.
But that's interesting because isn't that the like 7-year? Is it the 7-year itch or something like that? Like when you're married or together for 7 years, then you start like hating the person.
When
I don't
did
think
start
that's
hating
how 10 years ago, which lines up about 3 years ago you started hating me. Wait, this is scientific proof.
No.
It was just because we started working together.
It's not true at all. We started working together 4 years ago, so it doesn't really work out so well to
dang
math
it.
that way.
Have we been married for, will it be 7 years?
Mm-hmm, in December. 6.5.
Wow.
Crazy, man.
Wow. That's a long time.
Really doesn't feel like it.
No. Does it feel like longer?
No, like if I think about, well, I mean, like, those are like, I guess, slightly distant memories, but I don't think about them that much. But it's also like, that was 2017. So it's.
Yeah, when we got married.
Yeah. I love that I know this better than you do.
It's really bad. I don't care.
For everyone, I've definitely brought this up on the podcast.
We talked about this a few episodes ago, I think.
This is such a big peeve of mine. I hate so much that people are like, well, you better know you better know your anniversary. Honestly, who cares? Like, who cares?
I don't.
Who cares? You're together. Are you
You're
happy?
lucky if I
Sure.
remember your birthday.
I feel like you always try to do something for my birthday, so I feel like that's a hard one to forget.
I feel
Also,
like you
it's
don't
so
try
close.
to do anything for my birthday.
Yeah, because you said don't do anything for your birthday.
Never listen to a woman. when she says that.
I will throw this baseball at you.
No, I don't have my catcher's mask on.
You should have come in with that.
I gotta find that. I think
I know
exactly
where it is.
I just haven't seen it in a long time.
Because I put it away.
Oh, good job. That's another misconception. He's a better cleaner. He's a better organizer. I'm a mess. I am a full-on
We've
mess.
definitely talked about that on the podcast because I pointed out all the things that were dirty on your desk at one time.
It's fairly clean right now.
Yeah. Still more stuff on it than I want.
Yeah, his desk is extremely clean.
I have all the things in their appropriate places and nothing more.
I was thinking about this and I didn't bring it up in our conversation outside the gym in the sun, but we were talking, which we can get into this because I just finished watching the Colin and Smear video,
Sick.
which was spot on and so good.
Made me want to throw my hat on the ground.
Did it?
No.
It made me want to write down a bunch of ideas that I had, which I did.
Okay, good.
But I was thinking about how much our lives have changed and how much our jobs have changed and like what we do day to day.
Yeah.
Because I thought back when I was watching that video, I was thinking back and I can't remember like a specific day, but I remember sitting in your room at your mom's house, sitting on your couch and thinking.
My couch was also my bed.
Yes.
So.
And thinking like, what are we going to do? What do I want to do? Like we were so lost at that time, but we weren't at the same time. Cause like I was teaching skating and selling real estate. You were writing music and working at the studio, I think.
Sounds like
and
I
maybe
knew what I wanted
Starbucks. To do. But it's not at all what we're doing now. I mean, I'm still teaching skating, but in a way different capacity.
Yeah.
And yeah, sure, you still write music, but like you never did video back then or anything that you're doing now.
Yeah, I wouldn't touch a camera. I didn't
So,
like cameras now. I am borderline obsessed.
I was just thinking about how much that's changed, how much we've changed.
Yeah.
In that amount of time. And nothing to do with our relationship. Like our relationship, me and you have only changed like a little bit, but everything else around us has changed so much. And it's just crazy to think about. And then let's say in another 7 years, how much it's going to change. It's like crazy.
Yeah.
It's slightly terrifying, but it's awesome at the same time.
I'm just trying to process everything. I don't really have.
Do you feel like the same person? Like think back to being at your mom's house.
No. But I'm not. I don't think I'm like that different, but I'm definitely different. Sometimes I feel like maybe I'm giving people too much credit for this. I'm saying it forward. But like maybe the people that have still stuck around or that have been around me that are still around now and like that see me the same.
Yeah.
Could see through whatever I was doing or whatever I was, and they could see that they knew where I would be now.
Mm-hmm.
Like once I figured stuff out and like kind of landed somewhere, like
that's a good point.
But then I'm also like, I don't know how much people pay attention to that. Like maybe they did notice that, or maybe they did feel that, but maybe they didn't. Maybe they just like didn't. I don't know. Like they're not like listening to it.
See into the future of what.
No, but
they
like,
just saw potential of what could happen.
I guess you just know that when like you're around somebody and you're like, oh, they're dope, but then like you kind of see a little bit more of like maybe some of their actions or what they're saying or whatever, and you're like, they're still young. Like that's not. I'm not worried about that. I already see who they are, or like you just fully ignore it because you're like, that doesn't matter. I already know.
Yeah.
Like there's some people like that, and like saying that can also be like a red flag thing because like some people are like, oh, that means they're suck or something, but you're like, hold on, look at them as a whole. Yeah. And then look at their circumstances. What are they saying? What does that relate to what they're doing? Does that have anything to do with the other conversations you've had with that person? Yes, no. Where does that leave them? Mm-hmm. Right? So, I don't know. I think that like at the core, I haven't really changed. Mm-hmm. But I think the way that I express or am that core me has changed in a much more poignant way.
Yeah.
instead of being more like exaggerative of saying things, or like, I don't know if like teenaged angst, or like having to prove that I feel a certain way or that I am a certain way, like
Mm-hmm.
being like, no, this shows you that I'm this way. It's more like, take it or leave it, dude. I do not have time or care. Like, if you don't like it, I don't care.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm legitimately too tired to deal with you if you have problems with it. Like, it's not, I don't care.
Well, like, I think back even further, like, to me sitting in my bedroom, like, dreaming of things and like planning things and wanting to do things. And I feel like that person. Like, I feel like the later teenage years and like my early, actually just like all of my early 20s was like me trying to become something that I really wasn't. Like, I was trying to put on a show all the time, which I was literally performing like every day. So that makes sense. But I like was building a character that I wasn't necessarily at my core. And then my late 20s were like stripping all of that and actually figuring out who I was.
Yeah, that makes sense. I think if I'm going around the same analogy, I think that I was in that character way, like in middle school.
Mm-hmm.
You know, just like I think I just realized what I cared about and what I liked, and then I just didn't care, like unashamedly cared to make sure that it happened.
Mm-hmm.
But so then the character like formed around it.
Yeah.
And then that's what made it like gristly or whatever people thought of me, or like, cause I used to just be like, I like could not care. I mean, I still really don't care to like sugarcoat something. Like you know, like the compliment sandwich, like I will only use that in scenarios where it's absolutely mandatory.
Yeah.
Like I'm not interested in like, oh, you did so good. Here's the 100 things you did wrong, but it was pretty good. I'll be like, yo, this was not good. Here's what went wrong. In general, it's passable. Not good though. Like, grow.
I can speak to this, that you're not it's not to say you're not encouraging, because you do encourage, but it's like,
I'm not going to sugarcoat it to give you like this.
you're not going to give me what I want to hear.
Absolutely not. Unless it's deserving of what you like, unless what you did or what we're talking about deserves.
Truthful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If it's not blatantly straight, but also like the point of growth and creativity is you're never going to hit the perfect thing. There's always something you should improve and you can improve.
Yeah.
And if you and I both know that we both are at a level that we're good enough to do it, so like pretty much everything we do should be passable. Like when it gets to that point of like sharing it or whatever, it should be at a passable point, right? So like if I see it and you go, what do you think? You're not going to get this like raving review from me. Mm-hmm. You're going to get like this, it's going to be nitpicky.
This could be better.
This should have been done this way. This looked weird to me. You know, if this was intentional, I'd like to understand why, because then that would be kind of cool. Or I'd be like,
then I may teach you something.
Right. Or I'd be like, oh, I understand why that's there. Otherwise, I'm like, it's kind of a weird one. Like maybe it works, maybe it doesn't. Let's see what people think. If nobody says anything, then it's fine, you know? But, or like, so I'll end up with like a whole list of like what wasn't great.
Yeah.
But it's also, keep in mind, it's above the bar of passable. So it's like, it's not that it's below that bar. It's still above the bar, but I'm like, this is what makes you better next time.
Yeah.
Fix these things. Now you'll have a better product. Then we'll go to it again, fix those things, and it'll just keep getting bigger and bigger every time.
I would say that's the best part of our relationship, like our full relationship, whether us being married or like business wise, that's the best part of our relationship. But it's also, when I'm being like sensitive, it is the absolute worst part of it. Until I snap out of it and I'm like, I come back to reality and I understand what you're saying, then it's like, it's very helpful. But there are times where I'm like, please just tell me I did a good job.
Right, but you got to preface it with something
100%.
like that. Like,
and I tell everyone that, like, when they're sending me something and they either want critique or they want a pat on the back, like, I need to know.
Yeah.
So that I can deliver what they need. Otherwise, it's free reign. Like,
yeah, because it's like I don't know. It's just, I could very easily be like, this was good. Like, you've done better, but it's good.
Yeah.
Or like I could just be like, oh yeah, this isn't bad at all. And then tell you the 100 things I would fix. Or just be like, we already know that it's there. You wouldn't let it go out if it wasn't at some point of passable.
Yeah.
Right? So I'm like, if you're already doing that far, I'm not going to waste my time with being like, wasn't this great? Also, I am notorious for just constantly taking a statement and we're going to be off in the weeds for another 40 minutes before I bring it back to why we even started. Yeah. So for the safety of a 45-minute conversation not happening, why don't we just have like great, this is what I would change? Because those conversations are still like 25 minutes.
I was going to say, which is exactly why we started the podcast together, because I was like, you know what? These conversations that we have like every day are very helpful. I'm sure of it. Like, they're helpful for me, and I know they will be helpful for other people. So it's not a bad thing that you're long-winded with that.
Yeah,
I think it's very helpful.
I try to be more conscious of time every time we have these conversations. Like today, I watched. It was like, I think it was 25 minutes.
When we were standing outside.
Yeah, because I knew that every minute that we kept going, talking about whatever, that it was taking away from the time that I had to like make sure that I existed between going to the gym and then my meeting.
Yeah.
And so it was like,
which you barely made it. You made it in the door, I think, with 1 minute.
Andrew was late, so it's fine.
But yeah, and speaking of time, I try to not think about time as much as I can now.
Which I feel like is a problem with like
it is,
time
but
management.
it isn't. I'm better when I'm not thinking about it, because I used to live in the world of like, okay, I have to teach skating lessons at 3 p.m. I can't do anything.
It's the stress of you can't do anything in the day. Yeah.
Like I only have until 3 p.m. to do this video, film it, edit it, whatever.
Yeah.
It would be crippling. Like I couldn't get anything done.
Sometimes it rarely happens to me now when it's a day. Like when it's a time of day, it rarely happens to me now. It like always happens to me when it's a day. Like
a full day?
Yeah. So
so you have something tomorrow, and what do you mean by that?
So it's not happening this week, but like usually I think it's because the details of tomorrow didn't show up till today.
Got it.
So or at least the full scope of what's happening tomorrow. I'm on a shoot tomorrow. But so a lot of times if I know every detail of whatever's happening for like something that's a week away, I will feel like that shoot that is 7 days away is tomorrow every day. And I'm like scrambling to like get everything done and like clear it so that I can like be good for the next day and like make sure I'm good. And then I'm like, wait, I have 5 days. Like, what am I doing? And I'll catch that, but it's like that like slight like looming over your shoulder of like there's something to do. Mm-hmm. Which I guess like if you have a quote unquote normal job, you don't really have that.
Every day is similar.
Because you go to the office all the time. So it's kind of like whatever happens in that workday, whatever. When I worked at Super 73, it was like I have to be there 5 days a week from whatever time I get there to whenever I leave, because it was pretty great for me. I had to show up like, I don't know, before 10, but like.
I used to think that was like such a dream.
No, it was horrible.
To like
truly
go
the worst.
Somewhere to the same place, have it the same every day.
It was not fun. I mean, there were times that were fun. It was not fun though. Like as a whole.
Yeah.
As a whole.
Compared to creating your own schedule it's just so
also
bizarre.
Worse.
Yeah.
Creating your own schedule.
Yeah, because like that's all I've known in my entire life is creating your own schedule, working for yourself, building a business. It's what my parents did. It's not what my grandparents did. But my direct example, because my grandpa was already retired by the time I was really around. So my prime example was that. So then I would dream of like when you started working at Starbucks, I was like, gosh, that sounds fantastic.
Like someone else making the schedule for you.
Yeah. But that also was a mess because you would start at like 4 a.m. and then you would start at 5 p.m. sometimes. Like it was all over. But yeah, it's like, know that whatever situation you are in, someone's dreaming of that situation.
Right. Yeah.
No matter what. Like, even if you are miserable working your 9 to 5 and you're like, gosh, I need something to be different. I'm over here dreaming of that situation. So
I think you're dreaming of the idea of the situation, less like
100%.
the situation.
I'm not going to do it.
Right.
If I was dreaming of it like that much, I would obviously go do it. But I don't have that in me. I know that it wouldn't make me happy.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. I also think that like if you do, there's like I can't say this for everybody that is self-employed. I feel like most everyone I know is this way that's self-employed, but like you really have the mentality of every opportunity pretty much has to be taken.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Or leave your schedule open enough to always have the opportunity no matter what. But when you go to work for somewhere that has like a bunch of employees that they have to schedule to get like their whole shifts covered, right? And you're the like self-employed mentality going into it of like, I'll take every hour I can get because the more hours I get, the better that is for me. And then the more I grow and the more, like the whole cascading, like always have to be saying yes and always have to be doing, right? But it's super taken advantage of at somewhere like Starbucks, like, and I actually totally enjoyed working at Starbucks. The shifts I did not necessarily enjoy because I was not on as set of a schedule, and that was kind of determined by my coworkers at the time because some of my coworkers like truly had kids, can't work past 7 a.m. Gotta take care of kids, and I'm like, yeah, so I'll fill in the other ones, or whatever. But like, but so it does get taken advantage of because even if it's like if your manager or whoever is super dope and knows like that you're being run into the ground, then like they'll help you, but like, and you also have to say something, but like.
Yeah.
I remember it being like I'd work an opening shift like 2 or 3 times, right? And it wouldn't necessarily be in a row in a week. And then I would work like the midday shifts or the afternoon shifts. And the store I was at, the afternoon shifts were the worst because it was after school. And the morning shifts were the easiest with employees, the easiest with customers, the worst with schedules. Because I had to get up at like 3:30 because I had to be there at 4:30. And it's like people could be like, whoa, just get up like 5 minutes before. I'm like, look, I need to be some form of functional. So like I have to get up, make myself coffee at home.
Yeah.
So that I can be like functional Taylor and then like get ready, be alive of some capacity and then go. Right. And half of that time being awake is just like trying to get your bearings from not sleeping enough the night before. And just being like, okay, it's 4. I have to leave in the next 10 minutes.
You've always been really good about that, like giving yourself adequate amounts of time before.
I always try to overshoot it because the value of me being prepared to just exist somewhere is far more valuable, and my time is far more useful than if I'm just woken up and at the place.
I used to wake up, give myself
go.
5 minutes, get out the door, drive 15 minutes to the rink, start teaching 5 hours of lessons.
No, I could
without eating, without coffee, nothing.
The eating and stuff, whatever. The coffee thing is not for function. Well, it's for function in the sense of I can focus when I have the coffee. If I don't have the coffee, I don't focus as well. So it's very like functional, not to wake me up. Yeah. I'm totally fine without the coffee, but have a conversation with me without coffee and then have a conversation with me with coffee. It's a very, very different focused conversation. Like truly, it's a lot more focused when I have coffee. And then if you have right after I have my afternoon coffee, now it's 1,000 miles a minute and focused. And it's like, no, that's too much. But I like coffee. So
that's how I felt yesterday. And was it yesterday that no, it was 2 days ago.
You made 2 coffees yesterday?
Yes.
You were like, because I want to. I was like,
yeah.
I'm not
but
you.
I only drank half of my second pour over, and that's what I had this morning before the gym. I had the rest of that pour over.
I was going to say, I thought you had already had coffee today.
That was my leftover coffee.
Okay. That makes more sense.
Which I was going to use for my smoothie later, but now I don't have enough for a smoothie, so I'm just going to full send on the coffee, just drinking it normal.
And we're getting Starbucks after this.
But
I'm on 1 coffee right now.
Wow. What was I going to say? Oh,
1:40.
I ate a bunch of protein 2 days ago because I don't remember why. Did I do
Protein!
legs? I don't know. I did something and I just ended up eating a lot of protein that day. And I got out of the shower and it was like 8 p.m. We'd
You're
already
like,
eaten.
I'm ripped.
No, I was so energetic all of a sudden. I literally like panicked a little because I was like, what's going on with me? And then I told you, I was like, I feel like I just had a cup of coffee. And you were like, congrats. And I was like, no, I'm freaking out, man.
I mean,
I don't think it's
congrats.
because of all the protein I ate.
I don't
Is
know.
it?
I don't know.
Help me.
That's a text to Brian. That's not to me. I don't have that answer.
I don't know what happened, but it was kind of cool. Because that day, I think I only had 1 pour over. I didn't have a lot of coffee.
Maybe you just slept well. You did your life well, and you were your actual energy levels instead of
Maybe
maybe that's what you're trying to get to.
Well,
I know you're every time I wake up, you're all just on the bed.
Today I woke up though when you let the cats out. My alarm was set for.
Fred's been
another
annoying
hour.
coming out of the room.
Yeah.
He's been like, he won't even let me open the door enough for him to get out. And he's like shutting it on himself, trying to get out. So I've been having to put my foot in front of the door so it like stops his head. He does the like, and like tries to get out so I can open the door because I'll open the door and it like hits him in the head because he won't. And I'm like, dude, it's not like you're locked in here.
He just wants out. Yeah, the cats have been funny. Kevin's by the window right now. Yesterday we had the window slightly open and she was just watching birds all day.
Locked in.
Pretty amazing. I was going to get into, I don't know if I have time for this. I was going to get into saying yes and saying no, which you kind of brought up in your entrepreneurial mindset, saying yes all the time to opportunities.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a hard one. I learned how to say no very early on. I don't know who taught me because my mom is not a good example of that. My mom says yes to so many things that are way too many things. And I think that I learned that from her saying yes to so many things and me seeing that she wasn't necessarily happy doing those things.
Yeah.
So it taught me how to say no. So I know we've talked about this before, but I was like 100% a no man for a long time. But then when it comes to opportunities like you're saying with work, I would say yes to a lot of them. But finding that balance is really hard. And like finding the balance within actual work and your own creative interests, saying yes to things, saying no to things. You have to say yes to yourself in like the creative things that you want to do over saying yes to some of the more work related financial things. And I was thinking about that today after the Colin and Samir thing, because I was like, man, back in 2020, 2021, I woke up every day. And yes, there was plenty of work to do. But my main priority was, what do I want to create today?
Yeah.
No matter what.
Yeah. And I mean, it's definitely, it's funny because there's like not any more pressure now than there was before, but it feels like there's so much more pressure now than there was before for whatever reason.
It feels heavier.
Yeah. And I'm not exactly sure why, because technically speaking, I think in the actuality of how we make money, there's less pressure than before. Maybe more pressure in the sense of there's more things to pay for and it's more expensive.
Life is definitely more expensive.
But while yes, it's still also like not though. Not so like, yes, there's like things have gotten a little bit more expensive and whatever, but it's not so much like, it's not so like night and day. And our like baseline income is so much higher than it was before. Like, cause us talking about it, like if we took my job at Super 73 out of it, like before that, when we were doing that same thing, it was like, if we didn't do anything creative, we didn't make money. So the floor was zero.
Yeah.
And now the floor is not zero.
Right.
And there's other jobs happening anyway. So it's kind of like, wait, why do we put so much pressure on everything to exist, and then it sucks all of the energy and like creativity out of any other decisions we might make? Right?
I don't know. Like for me, I felt like back then I had absolutely nothing to lose.
Right.
Like that mentality.
Yeah.
And I still should feel that,
I agree.
but I don't.
Same. Fully same. I definitely feel like there's more. Well, it's weird because I don't feel like there's more to lose for me. Because like truly, like if I look at like everything or like anything, I heard it called vanity metrics, which I think is hilarious,
I
and it's
love
so
that.
true. It's like I have very few followers on the internet. Like for me personally, I have very few followers on the internet. I have very few interactions. I don't have a lot of subscribers on any of my channels. I have work with people that is unrelated to whatever else I'm doing if I'm doing something. So like none of the things I don't I have potentially on paper less skin to lose or less skin in the game now than I did before when I was pushing to do more. But now I feel like the little bit that I do have is so much more weight that like I'm crippled by it versus being like driven to push it further.
Yeah.
Right? Because it's like,
well, I know like for me, somewhere along the road, I went from like wanting to get new members to then somewhere along the road not wanting to lose members.
right.
So somewhere it switched. And when I really think about it, it's like, no, that's not what I should be worried about. That's not what I am worried about. Genuinely. Like I want to get the word out there. I want to help as many people as I can. I want to work with as many people as I can. That is still the ultimate goal. So why do I feel this like weird pressure to like keep everyone happy? It's like, screw that. Like I said no to that so long ago.
Yeah.
When I was like a kid, I was like, well, I'm not going to please everyone. So F it. Like, I'll just do what I want.
Yeah.
And that's how I succeeded in so many things. That was literally my like catchphrase in my head was, I can't say it on here, but like, F it. Like, let it go. Whatever's going to happen is going to happen. I'm going to do what I want to do and what I feel I need to do, not what the judges feel I need to do necessarily. Yeah. Like I broke rules, like I broke society's rules or like the skating community's rules that they had. And that's what allowed me to win. That's what set me apart. So it's like somewhere along the way, as I grew up, as I like got smarter and more intelligent, I lost a part of that. So now I'm like fighting to get that back because I know it's still there.
Yeah. I wish I had a better answer for any of it. Cause like,
we'll let you know when we figure it out.
If we figure something out, you guys will be along for the ride if we do get somewhere with this. But yeah, I don't actually know. I don't have a real good answer for that outside of like, I don't feel stuck. I just feel like
I felt stuck for a while. I don't feel stuck anymore.
I just feel more like overwhelmed, I think is what it is. And it's like, I don't feel busy enough.
I feel underwhelmed.
I don't feel busy enough to be overwhelmed, but then I feel overwhelmed. And then I feel like I'm not supposed to feel overwhelmed. So then I feel frustrated that I'm overwhelmed. And then I'm like, okay, how do I not be overwhelmed? And then it's like, I could say no to everything.
I've tried that. I've done that.
But then I'm like, if I say no to everything, then I'm making no money. And then I'm going to feel way worse about it if I do that. So then I'm like, I'm kind of in this like, just keep going, I guess. You know,
I think that my solution, which I'm going to try to do, and this is the first time you're hearing about it on here, is I'm going to try to wake up kind of along the same line as like your 10 ideas every day type of thing.
Yeah.
But I'm going to try to create something every day, whether that's a new video, an Instagram, a TikTok, whatever. It's like I need to get out of my own head. I need to actually create something every day.
Yeah. And then my initial response is, how are you fitting that in and what are you doing to not give it up? Because it's like the like negative side is like, how are you going to fit that into your schedule and not stop everything else you're doing to make it work?
I can't stop anything else that I'm doing.
Right. So that's why I'm saying how. I'm not saying.
I just will.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So question still stands. How are you going to do that? And then it's like, what are you going to do so that you don't stop it before it becomes a habit? Because if
I'll let you know when I think through that.
Because both of those are super important. Because if you don't have like, I don't know if it would be like a timeline to do it or like a specific time of day that you do it or something that like, because if you give yourself an inch, you're going to take a mile,
Yeah.
It's like if you miss it one day, you're like, I'll do it again tomorrow. You miss it tomorrow. I'll do it again the next day.
Well, I used to be like, oh, you know what? I'm going to go to the gym, but I'll skate to the gym. I did that like back in, I don't know, 2 years ago.
Yeah, but you also did that before we took like a whole backpack and all sorts of other stuff to the gym.
Yeah, like I didn't take anything to the gym.
You would just go.
But like...
Also, I was not going. I was like, you have fun. I'm not exercising.
Yeah.
Oh, how
I also kind of need to take you out of it because there's something, no matter what, something, if you're here, which I know we've talked about this with you and music. It's like if you're here or if I'm thinking too much about what you're thinking, then I won't go do it. Like I won't go film the video. I won't film a video right here with a tripod or, I don't know what it is.
Yeah, that's weird. I don't know.
But I need to snap out of it. I need to just do it.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why that would be. I mean, I get it, but that doesn't make that much sense to me. Strange.
Yeah.
Look at that. All sorts of rules and things we put on ourselves for
no reason.
No good old no reasons.
I'll figure out how I'm gonna do that and then report back.
I'm going to end it right here and say the reason that the tape measure was in here is I'm scheming rearranging this room. And
my goodness.
This is the first she's hearing about it. And if you like this podcast, please like and subscribe. If you are listening, please leave a review or, if you want episodes early, you could sign up on glitterandcatlitter.com or subscribe to a membership on the YouTube channel. And we will see you next time.
Bye.